So the third one I want to talk about is heading tags. Now, heading tags you actually do see on a website. And the way that I kind of like to talk about heading tags is if you look at a newspaper, right, and there's different articles on the front page of the newspaper, and there's different size fonts and different articles, usually depending on how important those articles are, right? So the bigger, the more important, the further up the page, they're probably more important, things like that, right? So for Royal Textile Products, their number one heading tag is right here in the bottom left under the picture. Denver's number one commercial window treatments. Does that look familiar? Again, same keywords we're going after here, but this is the heading tag. If I do a right click again and look for this, we're going to find it right here, and it's called an H1 tag. H1 is what is the number one heading for this page. And every website should have, or sorry, every web page should have a specific title, a specific meta description, and a specific H1 tag, and only one H1 tag, by the way. So it should have those things. Typically, they're going to be very similar to each other, right? In this case, they're all around commercial window treatments in Denver. So it makes sense that they're all very similar. Can they be exactly the same? They could, but we tend to kind of just switch it up, change the order where it makes sense. So instead of Denver commercial window treatments, you can see here we've got Denver's number one commercial window treatments. Just switches it up a little bit, but still gets all the right keywords in the right places. And as I mentioned, it's right there on the website for everybody to see. So as I mentioned, this needs to be applied to every page on your website, not just your homepage. Homepage probably the most important. And if you're going to start editing your site and doing some of this work, your homepage needs to be the first one, right? It needs to be the most popular. Second page would probably be whatever product or service generates the most revenue for you, or could generate the most revenue for you, or you have the best margins on, right? It makes sense to kind of do them in order of as these things start to optimize and start to rank, it makes sense that we're going to make money from these things happening, right? And that will obviously help you further down the road optimize some ones that maybe are not as important, but still could generate some revenue for you. So to find your tags, there's a couple different ways. My favorite way is the site colon trick. And let me show you that. Somebody that's on the call, put your window treatment company URL in the chat. I want to do this live for somebody that's on here. So if you have a website, put it in the chat if you don't mind me doing this. And let's put it in and see what happens here. So I'll wait for somebody to put their URL in the chat. There we go. Carol said specialtydrapery.com. Awesome. Thank you, Carol. So what I'm going to do in Google, I'm in Google Chrome. I'm going to type in site colon specialtydrapery.com. Site colon specialtydrapery.com. No spaces. That's very important. I'm going to hit enter. And what's going to happen is I'm going to get results from Google specifically about this domain name, right? So Google thinks that Carol has 142 pages on her site, and these are the pages. And this is how people are seeing this particular website when you're mixed in with 9 other results, right? When somebody's typing in, where are you at? So she's in Richmond. So if somebody types in window treatments Richmond, VA, right? This is what they're going to see, most likely her homepage listing along with 9 competitors. So this is why it's important to have your titles and your descriptions in place. Now, one thing that can happen is if you do not have a title or a description on your page, Google just grabs random text from your page. And here's an example. So she has a store page on her site, whether she wants to or not, but that title page has probably not ever been optimized. So Google just grabbed store-brand name and stuck it in there, right? Same thing for title. I mean, sorry, same thing for description. If there's no description for that page, they're going to just grab some random text. So this is the testimonials and reviews page. Specialty Drapery earns the highest scores for both their products and services. Now, I don't know if she put that in there or if Google just grabbed some random text from the page because she didn't have anything in there, right? But very important to have both of those in place. So that's the cite colon command that you can do for any website. Just so you know, you can put in a competitor here and do the same thing. Okay, what kind of titles are they using? What kind of descriptions are they using? Now, I wouldn't copy them exactly, right? Because if they're already ranking for those phrases, you're going to have to switch it up a little bit. But you can see, okay, this competitor is getting some decent traffic and ranking. Here's the title they're using. Here's the description they're using. Go visit that page and see what their H1 tag is for that page, and check that out as well. So if I go to Carol's website here, what we can do is we can do a right click and look at her H1 tag and see what that is as well. Get some ideas, from your competitors of what's working for them. Why are they ranking well? And then use that information to increase your own business. So I'm not sure why it's not loading. Oh, here it is. It's just way down there to get it going. But what you can do is view source on this. And I'm not sure if you guys can see this screen or not, but if I do a search for H1, let's see if we can find an actual H1 tag. Here we go. So she actually has more than one. So here's one: window treatment automation, Lutron controls, Somfy MyLink. These are all H1s. So these are all wrong, quite honestly, Carol. I don't want to pick on you, but these really should be H2 tags, which is basically less important, right? Your number one H1, your number one tag should be window treatments in Richmond, Virginia. And that should be the H1 tag that probably shows up here. I'm not sure why this is all empty up here, but the first thing that somebody should see when they land on your site is window treatments, Richmond, Virginia. Okay, I'm in the right place. This is what I'm looking for. So I obviously know I'm in the right place, right? These should be H2 tags because they're less important. And you can have more than one H2 tag. And just so everybody knows, you can go all the way to H6. In most cases, you're going to use one H1 tag and then multiple H2s, maybe some H3s, but probably not, right? Most web pages have a main heading and then they have some secondary headings like this. And I'm not even sure where the Lutron, where was that stuff at? So these should all be H2s like this and this. And then I never even saw Lutron. Oh, here it is right here. Wow, so these are your H1 tags right here. So definitely need to change that up. These are not even really headings. Those are just kind of buttons. This is a heading. This is a heading, that kind of stuff. So anyway, I'm not going to keep picking on you. I'm sorry. But that is the cite colon trick. So a great way to get some ideas for your own business, where it's at, and some of your competitors as well.